Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Engine Builder Show. Happy Friday, and today's topic is how to create effective goals that improve your marketing results. Again, as usual, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and enjoy the show. Good morning, everybody.
There was always a ton to learn. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday. Hope you had a good Cinco de Mayo if you celebrated that. And whenever you get to tune in, either watching live, go ahead and drop any comments down or anything you have questions on or input on. Or if you're getting to watch this later or listen to the podcast, I appreciate you taking time to tune in. And as always, my goal is to serve you and give you excellent information that will help you move forward, and also just that will help you just around the entrepreneurial journey and just help you think differently about your day-to-day actions. When we're able to change our thought process, our actions, our behaviors, that's when we're able to grow and change and achieve the results that we want. And so it's really important that we analyze what we're doing now to see what results it's actually giving us and how we can change. And so, like Jethro mentioned, I want to talk about how you can set clear and effective goals in your marketing that will allow you to improve the results that you're getting. And the first thing that I would encourage you to really start to think through and study and analyze and have conversations around, and even just reach out to us if you're stuck on this. We'd love to help you with it. You can reach out to us just by messaging me here, commenting, or by going to businessmarketingengine.com and just filling out the form there or chatting with us. But the first thing to really clearly define for yourself is, where do marketing and sales begin and end? So oftentimes I will get in a conversation either with a client that I'm coaching, where I'm doing some business coaching, or one of our clients where we're providing marketing services to. And there are many times where they are not clear about where marketing ends and where sales begins. And there is some variability to this business to business, but there's some kind of fairly clear standards to keep in mind. At a basic level, when we start to think about where marketing ends and sales begins, is marketing's job is to give the awareness to your audience, let them know what you offer, who you want to serve, and essentially what you have to offer. So it's branding, it's awareness, it's that awareness level. And then marketing should also get people to, in a sense, raise their hand and say, yeah, I want to learn more about this. And raising their hand comes in a lot of different forms. It could be clicking in, to read your article. It can be watching a video. And ideally, where you want to get your marketing to is you want it to be where it's a lead, where somebody gives you their contact information and wants to learn more about what you're offering. So those are kind of the broad strokes of where marketing is at. Marketing is also in that process. Some of the offer development and creating what you're going to offer is with marketing. Also, that's with sales and with just kind of the owner of the company, the owners, the decision makers of the company. So that's where it crosses over a little bit for me. But what marketing does not do, sometimes this is easier to define what it doesn't do. Marketing does not pick up the phone, call the lead that came in and sell them on the deal. They're not involved in the sales process, but marketing should integrate with and support sales as much as possible. And so in years past, there's been times where we've been really successful in generating leads for somebody, but they have no sales process and no, sales discipline to follow through on things. So it doesn't matter how many leads I was sending this company. It didn't matter because they had no sales process and no sales follow-up. And when you're getting a steady flow of leads, of contact forms being filled, people commenting and engaging with what you're offering, people filling out forms, making phone calls, people reaching out to you. If you have a steady flow there, it means your marketing is effective and performing in the way that it should be. But if you're not making money from that marketing, then often that's a sales problem where there's not a consistent follow-up process. There's not a strong script. There's not the components and the pieces that need to be in place in order to convert, those leads that come from marketing. So learning to clearly define the roles of marketing is responsible for this aspect of things, with making sure our brand is out there, people are more aware of us, and that when there's a problem, we show up. When somebody's searching for a solution, we show up, and making sure then that it's easy for somebody to give you their contact information to become a lead. That's on the marketing side of things. On the sales side of things, that's where when a lead comes in, it needs to be acted on within 5 minutes, is really what the data shows. If you pick up the phone and you call somebody within 5 minutes, they are still actively thinking about solving the problem. And so you need to respond immediately to them. And then you need to have a follow-up process that gently guides them, through your whole process. It qualifies to make sure that they are a good fit to work with. And then ultimately you provide a package that solves their problems and delivers great results and just serves that prospect who should then be your customer at the highest level. So knowing the difference between marketing and sales is what's really key, because when you understand that clearly, not only in your own head, but you've had the conversation and you clearly defined that between your marketing teams and your sales teams, that's when you're going to be able to have a more success. So don't blur those lines. It's so easy to blur the lines. It's really important to keep refining and clarifying the difference between sales and marketing and how they partner together, how they integrate, and what pieces are not sales, what pieces are not marketing. Once you know that, and you want to look at driving more effective marketing results, which again is increased brand reach, because you have to increase your brand so that when somebody has pain, they think of you. And the reason that we really want to make sure there's a really strong foundation from a brand perspective is, as much as I wish that all of the people in your audience needed your services today, that's not how it works. As an example, I have a small project that I need an electrician to come do at my house. And so I'm going to reach out to them this week and have them solve something. But once that's solved, I don't need them anymore for a season. With the company that I'm using, if they want to be effective in maintaining my business, then they should do email marketing. They should run Facebook ads. They should have vehicle wraps. They should do direct mail. They should be in Google search. They should be everywhere that I am when I'm thinking about them and when I'm not thinking about them. They should have billboards up. And then that way, when I reach that point of need or that point of pain and like something else comes up and I need some electrical work, I'm going to call them. So that's why we need brand coverage first. It's our foundational piece. Then when we understand what our goal is branding wise, which you can measure that with real and estimated impressions, and you can say, I want to have X thousand impressions. Maybe it's 10,000, maybe it's 100,000, whatever the number is. I want to have X thousand impressions in front of my audience this month. That's a really simple way to chunk down a marketing goal that you can measure and control, because you can't control when me as the customer needs the electrical work, but you can control how many times you show up in front of me. So that's the first thing. If you chunk down what you're measuring and what your targets are from a marketing perspective, it's a lot easier to measure success and progress. So branding foundational first. Next level is how many leads can we generate for the people that are in pain or are in need of what we have. And then the other thing that you can measure is when I put somebody into a nurture sequence, are people opening my emails? Are they seeing the information? Am I staying in touch with like a nurture type email series or nurture type remarketing series, whatever it might be? But the principle here is those are just a few components in marketing that you can break down and measure. But the principle is, if you can chunk things down into smaller pieces, you can optimize each portion of the marketing, work that you're doing. And that's what will raise your results. Instead of grouping it all together and saying, I need all my marketing to work perfectly, or I need, this one big result, break it down into smaller pieces and it's going to be a lot less overwhelming. You're going to be able to communicate more effectively with the marketing team that you're working with, and you'll have clear, definable, small targets to hit that will help you reach your big goal. And once you've done that, then it's really effective to say, okay, I'm going to set, some clear targets. I'm going to test things, and I'm going to optimize each of those things that I'm testing. And so running 2 or 3 different tests at once is always a good idea, because just because your idea of how you want to reach people or what might look good from a branding perspective feels really good to you, your prospects may totally ignore it and have no idea what you're talking about, or not even see the ad because it's not relevant. So if you can run multiple different tests at once, that's when you're going to start to expand your knowledge and see what's working. And you want to set an intentional time period. Say, we're going to run this test for 2 weeks or a month or 2 months, whatever it might be, but set a time frame, run the test, compare your side-by-side results, and then learn from what's working, throw away what's not working, and keep building upon it. It's not a flip a switch and work. That's not how marketing works today. There's too much noise going on. There's too much diversity in the channels and the opportunities that people have to consume information. And so it's a matter of incrementally optimizing and building and improving what you're doing, rather than thinking that there's a magic bullet out there that's going to solve your problems. So those are the things that I would encourage you to think through as you're setting clear marketing goals and creating, these targets that will actually move you forward. Again, clearly define the difference between marketing and sales and how those teams interact in your company. Then break down your marketing, targets into smaller chunks of small things that you can manage and measure, and you can build up layer by layer. And then third is, set the conversion targets, set the brand reach targets, set the targets that you have, and run different tests and optimize what works. Learn from what you're going to fail at, because no matter what you are doing, what market you're in, who you are, how experienced you are, you're going to have failures. And those are great opportunities to learn. And when you do that, then you're going to be able to have really clear, effective marketing. If you need help with your marketing, we would love to help you with that. So you can reach out at businessmarketingengine.com. You can message me or just comment down below with any questions. I'd love to answer those. And I hope you all have an awesome weekend. And I look forward to seeing you next week on the show.